Hey y'all, how y'all doing? My wife's out of town, okay? So since she's out of town, I'm with my daughters by myself tonight. It's just me and my girls. And so they upstairs. And if you on Rumble, read that message. Let me say this. I want to address something real quick. Some of these jokes y'all were telling, I don't know if you doing it like kidding on the sly or something like that, because if you making the same jokes liberals make, those who I'm battling in the black community, and what it says is when they see that, oh, even them white folk telling him that. So certain jokes ain't even funny. Don't even go there. What is it, Jandale?
Mommy was calling and I kept hitting the answer button, but it didn't work.
Come here, bring me the phone. Yeah, come in. Okay, let me see. Hold up. Did she call? She called video phone. Okay, look. Take a look. Right here, start video call. There you go.
Hello?
Hi, Mommy.
Hi. Tell Daddy I was just getting ready to comment on his live, but
Well, still comment on the live. Which one are you gonna comment on?
I don't know. I was going to your page because I still have it connected to mine, and I was gonna comment on
Well,
it.
well, still comment. That'll be fine. All right, Jandale, take the phone up there with your sister so y'all can sit out there, chat with your mom. Okay.
Yes,
Place the phone so y'all can chat. Okay.
yes, Hi, Mama.
What it is, it's just that
Hi.
a lot of people don't like that video, especially out of my community. It's okay to be white. A lot of people don't like that video. They hate it. Because what that video I did, It's Okay to Be White, called out the black community and victimhood. A lot of people seriously don't like when whites say you are mistreating us. You are being racist toward us. A lot don't like it. So that's why I like certain jokes. I try to get it so that, yes, I like y'all joking. I like the stuff you do. I love it. And Rumble is for that. Rumble is for you guys to be free, to be able to say what you want to a certain extent. But certain jokes, if when people who hate my guts screenshot stuff, because you be surprised, oh, this white person said this, you didn't say nothing. I don't care. If somebody white say they don't want to be around blacks because of the gun violence, they don't want to live around a black community because they see people having live shootouts in the day, why would I tell someone white they don't need to be like that? I don't want to live around a black community and they shoot like that. But let's go on and get started. As you well know, tonight's Friday night. We are going to rumble early. We are going to rumble early because we got to talk about lies that have been told from media, liberals, and I want y'all to be able to be free when you call. Make sure the volume is turned up nice and well. Let me check the volume. You know what that means. The phone lines aren't open yet, but the phone lines are here. The phone lines are here. Hello to Truth with Tom, Drew Kissick, Sean Broden. What's up, Sean? Shane Terry, I said Drew Kissick. Florida Girl 420. What's up, Florida Girl? David Hessler. Who else I got? Okay, that's everybody. Of course, Shane Terry, Brenda Silver. What's going on? Black Tea Patriots. Sarjan Willmaster, Linda Andrews, Miss Barbara Kirkendall. What's up, sis? I know I seen. Okay. Oh God, where is he at? Where? Okay, there you go. Justin Williams, Wendell, Waters, Hope Mills, North Carolina. What's going on down there, Hope Mills? Now let's get on over here to Mind of Jamal Live. Debbie Nilsson, Lisa Pretty, Hurley McAdams, Tammy 621. You know what? I'm gonna go on and make her a admin on Mind of Jamal Live. She always come in, and if she don't want it, she can turn it down. If you don't want it, Miss Hurley McAdams, you don't have to. Now listen. Yes, I will make people moderators on YouTube, because to me that's my way of thanking you for all y'all who come to the show constantly and be here. But if you don't want to do it, you're like, Jamal, that's just too much, I just want to come here, relax, that's fine. It's not gonna hurt my feelings, but I just want you guys to be happy. What's up, Joe Brandon, Claire Taylor, Patricia, Holloman Holly? Let's get to Rumbleville. All right, now Rumble. PMB 9720, Sin Napier, One Way, Johnny Reb, Darth Fismeyer, Mike Merge, Susan Rumble, Jay Hayes, Pistol Sticks, PMB. Okay, I think I got them. All right, Cameo 621, Melinda Peace, Lil Bit 71. Somebody had told me I was because I watched John Burke, and on his Telegram page it said that they can add moderators to Rumble. If they do that, oh my God, I'm already telling you, you know it's gonna be Mr. Larson, our Hawkeyes, Jay Hayes, Johnny Reb. Already got 6 gonna be is off the gates, gonna be my moderators on Rumble. 6 off the gates, I'm telling you. Stacy, Jesus is the answer, he's gonna be one. Of course, Sin Napier, of course they gonna be one. I'm just cannot wait till I can do it. Coming out the gate, they gonna be moderators. But see, I don't know how to do it. Mods have been enabled on Rumble, but I don't know how to get it. I don't know if I have to pay more, because sometimes people pay more for it. But I find out, I ask questions and get it. I promise you, y'all, if I get it, you're gonna get it. I wish I knew how to add moderators, but I tried doing the thing. They passed it. The Parent Bill of Rights. It's been passed. Liberals are mad that the Parent Bill of Rights have been passed. They're upset. Why do Democrats have to talk about sex when us as the parents aren't there? Now, my kids go to private Christian school, Christian Academy. But tell me, why is it so important for liberals to talk to children about sex without the parents' consent and without the parents' knowledge? Why is it such a problem? Why is it such a problem that if you have a child that's saying they could be possibly transgender, they believe they were born in the wrong body, why is it a problem for the parents to know, so the parents can find out what's influencing the child? Now, Pistol Sticks, Miss Pistol Sticks, she's watches me as well on Twitter. And if you go to my Twitter page, you will see me go back and forth with somebody today about that very same thing. The lady told me her daughter teaches children, but her daughter is okay with trans activism and atheism. Well, if your daughter is a trans activist and an atheist, you don't think she's going to indoctrinate children with that? You don't think she's going to indoctrinate children for that? Then she had a nerve to say her daughter's job is to teach tolerance. It is not a teacher's responsibility to teach tolerance. That's a parent's issue. That is a parent's issue. That is not Sheila Rickles. Hey, you doing? Michelle McCann, y'all forgive me. Okay. For those who say you don't know how to comment on Rumble, you must be at a desktop computer to comment on Rumble live, okay? If you have your cell phone, listen to me. If you have a cell phone and you watching me from a cell phone or tablet, and you have Google, go to Rumble, but go to desktop mode. You must go to desktop mode in order to chat live. Or you would do like Rapper 10,000 do. Rapper 10,000, he leave me comments in the comment section, which is at the bottom of the page, and I have to like right now there's no comments right now. Since I'm at comments, there are none. But you can surely bet by 11 o'clock, Rapper 10,000 and sent me comments to the comment section down there. He's not going to go to the live chat. He send his comments most of the time to the Rumble comment section. So if you want to know how you navigate through Rumble, you must have desktop. You must go to Google on your cell phone, type in Rumble, my page, everything like that, but hit desktop mode. If you do mobile mode, it won't give you that. You must do desktop mode. What's wrong?
I thought Jay was down here.
Come here. You can't find your sister.
I don't know where she is.
Come here.
I was in the bathroom, Jemima. Oh.
Say hey.
Hi.
Oh, that wrong one. Say hey.
Hi.
Don't forget to put your cap on, so you can keep your hair covered. Turn around. Go get me your hair roller thing so I can put your hair up. Tell your sister go get your hair roller thing so I can put y'all hair up. Cause even though I gotta do a show, I gotta be daddy. So go get the hair roller thing so I can go put your hair up.
Stuff?
Yeah, go get the hair stuff. Tell your sister come down here so I can do the hair stuff. So some of y'all may get mad at me tonight and say, Jamal, why you got to do this? You know, I got a lot to talk about. I couldn't do it last night. Some things that happened. I couldn't get online last night, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk live with you guys tonight, but I'm also going to braid hair. I'm going to put hair up the way it needs to be done. Okay? So if y'all don't mind, y'all don't get mad at me. But this is a problem. Why is it you want to have books in school about sex? Why do you want to have books in school of people performing sex acts? 13 and 12-year-olds performing sex acts on each other. Why is that so important for you to see and do that to children? Where's your hair thing?
Jay has the rollers.
All right, come on. Tell me why. It has to be a problem. And well, now you guys know tonight's call-in. So since it's call-in, if you send me an email, that I will still read it. But like I said, I just got to find out, why is it so important for them to push this crap on kids? Where is the and I want you to listen to how mad they get. Hold on.
Gentleman from Virginia is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I yield 2.5 minutes to the gentlewoman from New York, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez.
The gentlewoman from New York is recognized for 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think what we're seeing here today is the Republican Party's attempt to take some of the most heinous legislation that we are seeing passed on the state level to attack our trans and LGBT, as well as people from marginalized communities, right to exist in schools. This flowery language of quote-unquote parental rights and freedom hides the sinister fact of this legislative text. If you notice in these arguments, they are not really discussing what is actually in this legislation. It includes 2 provisions that require schools to out trans, non-binary, and LGBT youth, even if it would put said youth in harm's way. One of the highest rates of youth homelessness is in the LGBT community, from parents who want to kick their children out in households that may be unstable or abusive. For so many children of abuse, school is their only safe place to be. But before they claim that this is not about banning books and not about harming the LGBT community, let's just look at the impacts of similar Republican legislation that has already passed on the state level. Look at these books that have already been banned due to Republican measures. The Life of Rosa Parks. This apparently is too woke by the Republican Party. Song of Solomon is unacceptable to Republican politics. 40% of banned books have reported are significantly addressing and specifically addressing LGBT issues. To say and talk about government reach and freedom, this Republican bill is asking the government to force the outing of LGBT people before they are ready. And talking about the rights of parents in this gallery today, the National Parents Union is here saying don't do this. I have a letter that I'd like to submit where they are asking the Republican Party to keep culture wars out of classrooms. Our children need urgent and aggressive educational solutions. The American Library Association coming out against this Republican proposal. When we talk about progressive values, I can say what my progressive value is, and that is freedom over fascism. Thank you very much.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman.
Yeah, we get the phone.
Let me get the phone.
Now, I want to know, why is it they lie, one, about the books? Nobody is stopping people from teaching Black history. What they're not doing is allowing you to teach Black indoctrination. Okay? Oh yes, Uganda's not playing with that. And they're talking about putting sanctions on Uganda, because Uganda is dealing with this issue because they banned it. Uganda and African nations, good night, y'all. Daddy love you. Y'all done?
Yes, sir, we're done.
All right. Put, if you want to, Jendaya, put the sleep music with the the colorful lights if you want to. If you want to do dark, y'all do dark. But if you want to do the seashore or the aquarium, do the aquarium tonight.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Right before y'all go to bed, kiss me and hug me before y'all go to bed, okay?
Yes, so we don't have to go to bed right now?
No, you don't. You can stay up to about till y'all get sleeping.
Yes, sir.
All right, Daddy, love you.
Love you too. Night,
The problem, they want children. They want our children. They want them. There's just no other way to put it. They want our children. They want our children. They believe they have a right to teach and instill things in our children that we as parents don't agree with. As a parent, if I found out that my child was being confused, is confused, and she's saying she a little boy, I need to know that so I can address that confusion. The thing they want to recruit. They cannot reproduce, so they recruit. And I hate to quote Bill Maher. Like I tell people, Bill Maher hate conservatives, Republicans. He hate us. That's why I don't understand why Republicans quote him. But you know what? I'm not going to use him. I'll just use what Tucker Carlson said. Why is this transgender stuff explode where liberals are at? Where liberals are at, transgenderism explodes, and so does the suicide rate. Why is the suicide rate for transgender higher in liberal areas than they are in conservative areas? Anybody want to explain that? Anybody wants to explain why transgenderism suicide rate is higher in liberal areas than it is in conservatives? Keon says Russia's helping pay off Africa so they don't owe any country anything, which is a good thing. Because America should not be trying to force people with that stuff. That's wrong. And we have been exporting perversion for a long time. Well, I don't understand how come when a Republican administration get in, we don't promote morality. It's no longer enough just to stop liberals. You have to push them back. In 2015, July of 2015, the Supreme Court passed gay marriage. In 9 years, America has been turned upside down. In 9 years, America has been turned upside down. It is time to revisit gay marriage and put it back to the states. Because as we see, the gay marriage issue was nothing more than a gateway to push transgenderism. That's all it was. They used it, which many of us said they would, to push their agenda. This is why they don't want a parent's Bill of Rights. And I'll be honest, some conservatives don't like to talk about this because they put their children above morality. I've actually talked to conservatives who said they used to be this way until their child came out as gay. So, they had to sit back. They're not going to stop loving their child. If your child told you he molested someone, would you still support your child? No. And please don't give me that, well, they're not breaking the law, because age of consent changes. If they made the age of consent 13 years old, would you think it's okay for your child that's gay to mess with someone 13 and he's 27? See, you have to present these type of arguments to liberals. Force their hand. Force them to say if it's not against the law, they have no opinion on it. So you don't have a problem with a 30-year-old man messing sexually with a 13-year-older? Your morals are that corrupt to where you, just as long as it passes your agenda, you okay with it? These people are sick. And all their argument is the same thing. If you prevent schools from doing things without your knowledge, if you prevent schools from hiding things from the parent, then you're going to kill people. You're going to increase suicide, because as a parent, you are opposed to transgenderism and homosexuality. So you won't let your child participate. If you find out, you'll go get your child some help. You'll tell your child, no, this ain't right. No, this is not right. So they feel you shouldn't have an input on your child's life. And this is exactly what they're doing. That is dangerous. That is 100% dangerous. And then this activist gonna tell me my child went to a Christian school all majority of her life and blah blah blah. And I told her just like this: it doesn't matter if you send your child to a Christian school if the parents aren't living the word. Let me say this one more time. It doesn't mean a thing if you send your child to a Christian school if the parents aren't going to live a Christian life. I believe, some people may disagree with me, that's fine. I do believe in order to go to a Christian academy, the parents need to be saved. In order to go to a Christian academy, the parents of the child need to be saved. Because why in the world would you sit there and allow somebody to go to your school that's not equally yoked. Because if they're unsaved, they're going to do unsaved things. If you go through all the hoops to have a Christian school, why aren't you making one of the requirements the parents be saved as well? Hey, Miss Dorothy Smith. Do y'all feel I'm wrong about that? They don't have to go to the church, that particular church, but they need to be saved. Because then that child is going to bring things into that school that's not right. And that Christian school don't need to be sued. That Christian school don't need to be sued because you're teaching children about the Word of God and sin. You do understand a lot of Christian schools don't teach sin and right from wrong because they don't want to offend some of the students. They don't want to, if a student has two mommies, they don't want to tell her, the child, that that's not right. That's just not right. Now, yes, in the 1960s, the 1950s, and 70s, there were people getting married at early ages. They got married. Let me say that again. They got married. I mean, these people actually sit here. These people actually sit here and have a Christian school, but you don't discuss sin right or right from wrong. Now, what does this have to do with the Parents' Bill of Rights? If you don't want a teacher teaching a student about Jesus Christ, who's God Almighty, if you don't want a teacher going over scripture, if you don't want a teacher talking about marriage and in public schools, why are you going to allow teachers to talk about tolerance and indoctrinating children on the other way? Why are you going to allow children on the side that says it's you can do whatever you want, you can live a sinful lifestyle? So if I can't talk about Jesus Christ, I can't talk about sin, I can't talk about these things as a teacher, what gives you the right to talk to children about expressing themselves LBGT, they can change gender? That saying, it takes a village to raise a child, I don't like that saying. No. It takes a family to raise a child. It takes good parents to raise a child. Because if you are a good parent, you're going to raise your child. The village may not all agree the morality. The village, some in the village may think it's okay to give a child a beer at the age of 9. See, many people, if you're over the age of 40 and 50, you remember and you all hear these stories when people were growing up. The next door neighbor could whoop you. If you misbehave, the next door neighbor will call you over and pop you, then tell your parents, and then when your daddy and your mama got home, they whooped you too. But the next door neighbor was going to church. The next door neighbor had morality. The next door neighbor didn't have 4 or 5 kids by 3 or 4 different men. So the next door neighbor actually had strong values to teach. You can't teach no child strong values if you still having different men shacking up 3, 4 kids out of the wedlock, and your children, your daughter leaves out the house looking like a dime store hoe, and your son walk out the house looking like a little pimp or a hoodlum. Yes, your attire does matter. The clothes you put on is a uniform. That is a uniform. The clothes and attire you wear is a representation of you. A lot of people don't like to think that because they want to dress a certain way but expect people to see them in a different manner. If I stepped out in the street with a police officer's uniform and you got robbed, would you get mad if I told you just because I'm dressed like this don't mean I'm a police officer? You would say, then if you're not a police officer, why should you dress that way? If you're not a hoodlum and a thug, why are you dressing like a hoodlum and a thug? If you ain't a hoe, why you dressing like you should be on a block in the red light district 1 o'clock in the morning? Keon said, Jamal, last time I checked, Jesus said, train up a child in a way they should go. Yes, that is in the scriptures. But these people are so upset they cannot pervert children. These people are angry. And the so-called media is in it too. I'm sorry, but PBS need to be defunded. Anybody still watching PBS thinking they are fair and balanced is crazy. PBS is not fair and balanced.
Today, the U.S. House stepped into the fiery debate about kids and classrooms, passing a bill that Republicans say protects parents' rights in every school district, but opponents call a dangerous move in a culture war. Our Lisa Desjardins reports.
Shame on you! For years, flaring. I am so upset that I have to stand before this board, rising.
That we can't trust that you would actually listen to us. You've obviously got a fully formed opinion.
And sometimes roaring. Debates over schools and kids have now reached the U.S. Capitol.
Should parents have the right to be involved in their child's education? That is the question before us.
But what about the rights of our students? What about the rights of our young people?
Your students don't have rights. Your students don't have rights. Your students don't have rights. They are children. They are children. You know, they say teachers, students have rights. No, they don't. A teacher can go through a child's backpack You don't have no right to privacy in school. Teachers do not need a warrant to go through your backpack. Teachers do not need a warrant to search your locker. What rights are you talking about? Are you talking about a student's right to bear arms? Are you talking about a student's right to go have a firearm? So what rights are you talking about? A child that is 16 and under cannot go home and tell his mother or father, I no longer want to live with you. I want to be on the street. You can't do that. Why? Because until you become an adult, you are the responsibility of your parents. So where does this children got rights come from? You got the right to go in that room and shut that door. Excuse me. You don't have that right. I'm sorry. I done lost my mind. You better not shut that door. You got the right to go do your homework. You got the right to go take a shower and be at the table by 19:30 because that's when dinner is served. You got a right to go to bed and lay down and go to bed 21:30. You better be in that bed. Now, let me address something real quick because I got to talk scripture. And it's wrong for a man to talk scripture with his head covered. Oop, lock. There we go. They keep me from closing things. It's wrong for me to talk scripture with my head covered. It is. A man is not supposed to pray or prophesy with his head covered, and a woman is not supposed to. And a woman is not supposed to pray or prophesy with her head uncovered. Chris Palin says, do I have to walk into a church to prove to you I have faith? Nope. That's a half truth, Chris. The scriptures tell you, forsake not assembly one with another. The scriptures tell you, how can a man learn unless, how can a man hear, how can a man learn unless he's been taught? How can a man preach unless he's been sent? No. Yes, you do need to go to church. Yes, you do need to go there. And you know what? Yes, people do look at you and see what type of faith you have. All that's scriptural. Yes, that's right. I don't need nobody to tell me my faith. Oh, yes, you do. That's not scriptural. For people who say, I don't need nobody to tell me what type of faith I got, oh, yes, you do. Because the scriptures tell you, mock them that cause division. The scriptures tell you, for those who sin, 1, go to them. 2, go with 2 more. 2. Second time, go 3. Then you bring him before the church. Then you put him out. Your faith is to be judged by those in the faith. The Apostle Paul tells you that in 1 Corinthians. We're going to judge angels, how not you judge small matters in the church. So no. No. That believe, well, I don't need nobody to tell me my faith. Usually the people who say that, I'm going to be honest, don't have it. Because they don't like to be told they're not doing right or they're not being right. I'm just going to be honest with you. Yes, iron sharpeneth iron. The scriptures tell you don't look on matters of yourself, but look on the matters of others. Judge not on appearance, but judge righteousness. I'm sorry, but that's what the scriptures say. A lot of people don't, well, I don't like for no man to be judge me. Nobody's perfect. That's true. Nobody is perfect, but that still doesn't mean they cannot chastise you when you do wrong or put you back on the right path. Because none of the apostles were perfect, but the apostles still were in charge of the church and were in charge of laying the ground rules. That's why I don't understand when people say things like, well, no, he's a man, nobody's perfect. Time out. No. A church is not amongst family and friends. That's a lie. I cannot let that go, Chris Palin. A church is not amongst family and friends. It is not. It is not. Churches have order. Churches have things in it. An apostle, bishop, deacons, ministers, mothers. No, that's not a church. That's a hangout. Yes, do you have family members that go to church with you? Yes. Do you have your wife and your children, or if you're a woman, your husband and your children, or your brother-in-law, your father-in-law, your dad, your brother? Yes, they go to church. But church is not amongst family and friends, no. The Lord Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm present. In his name. The scriptures must be there in his name. And if the scriptures tell you you must have an apostle, you must have a preacher, how you gonna learn a word of God and you ain't got no preacher, no one there to break down scripture? Because remember, the scriptures tell you there is no private interpretation. Matter of fact, in the book of Titus, the Apostle Paul said, talking about certain Jews, he said their mouths must be stopped. They go and pervert whole homes. Their mouths must be stopped. That was the Apostle Paul. So no. A lot of people like to do this, churches just anywhere, churches home, because they, 1, don't like to go to a building in the morning. 2, they don't like paying tithes and offering. And worse, they don't like to be corrected. So Chris, I told that is totally 100% not scriptural. The scriptures tell you forsake not assembly one with another. It tells you offices of bishop. They rule the church. See, there are a lot of offices that are in the church to test your humility. That's right. I was not going down this path, but there are churches. The church job is to also humble you. For if you a 48-year-old man and you got a minister or that's 27, 28, and he comes up to you and you say, hey, Brother Palin, I saw you out there smoking cigarettes. You don't need to do that. That's wrong. That's not godly. A lot of people can't deal with that. Who this young guy telling me I can't do this? So I'm sorry, Chris, but that's wrong. That is not scripture. I can't back down on that, but it's not. That's not. Because too many people are laid astray by their own dire lust and temptations. But let's continue.
Why are my Republican colleagues not advocating for our students?
Where House Republicans today passed what they call a priority bill.
The bill is passed.
It is H.R. 5, called the Parents' Bill of Rights. It would require that parents be allowed to see curriculum plans, lists of materials, and can look at any available books. Also that they will be told about school budgets and any incidents of violence. Republicans say this is simple. It comes out of years of COVID lockdowns and parent sidelining that led to tension and this. A Department of Justice notice in 2021 about threats to teachers and school boards. Some parents felt they were labeled as the threat.
These parents are not to be labeled as domestic terrorists. They are proud parents.
But the debate shows this is also a political and cultural battle with much deeper layers to it.
There is this hostility to traditional values that is seeping into the public schools today.
And in response, deep opposition to this from some parents.
No on HR 5! No on HR 5!
These parents from a group called the National.
All of them look like they need to walk from the Capitol all the way to California. Every last one of them look like you can tell. None of them look like they participate in field day. I'm just saying, does anybody think that they participating on field day? I know some of y'all gonna get me. Some of y'all about to get me. But do any one of y'all believe any one of these women are walking down field day? They participating on field day? You think any one of them doing the sack race? Getting a sack of potatoes, a sack of fries. But you don't think none of them are getting on no sack race.
National Parents Union believed the bill could harm their kids with a chilling effect on what they can read.
We got Minnesota, we got Illinois, we have New Jersey.
They came from across the country to say it misses the real issues in their schools. Jillian Rainingbird is here from Kansas City, Missouri.
See what I mean? Y'all about to get me. Y'all about to get me. Here it comes. Y'all about to get me. In this picture alone, it looked like it's about 2,000 pounds of fun. It looked like it's about 2,000 pounds in this picture. The first two, the one on the side, the one in the back. Yo, yeah, it's about 2,000 pounds. That's a whole ton right there. That's a whole ton of fun right there. That's a whole ton of fun. Phone lines are now open. Phone lines are now open. Y'all got me all. Ooh, got David Hessler. Hold on, David. Matter of fact, let me switch over. Let me switch over because it is Friday. You can say what you want to. All of them look like they on heart medicine. At least two of them got diabetes. Two of them look like they got diabetes. Two of them do. What's up, David? What's going on?
Well, good evening, Jamal. Despite the fact I'm dealing with my wife going for her first time through the Big M, everything's okay.
Okay.
Hey, I wanted to, they got upset because the DA's, New York DA's witness got proven out a liar because of other people's testimony. And they postponed, again, the meeting with the grand jury because supposedly some nefarious Trump supporter sent them a strange white powder to his office. And then, of course, we had the Fed agents going over there to pretend to be Trump supporters, acting like crazies and fools, and a few real Trump supporters that were there to, discredit them right off the bat. I mean, and of course, news me and the Democrats, they're just having a fit because everything they're trying is falling apart and being proven for what a big lie it has always been, and they're getting desperate. They're grasping at everything.
Yeah, it looks like it, because I'm going to be honest with you. The Parents' Bill of Rights is nothing more than saying parents have a right to know what's going on. What are you doing so secretive at the school that parents shouldn't know? I I got to know, what is it so much that you don't want children's parents to know? What are you doing? What are you doing that you can't do that? What are you doing? What are you doing that you don't want parents to pop up and look at what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, that just proves that what's being said about them is true, you know, that they're doing all this crap they keep lying or saying they're not doing. You hear how California's made it a law, if you don't let your minor children be transitioned now, that they will come and take them away from you and charge you with child abuse.
Yes, I am very aware of that. California passed something like that, but you know what? Other states need to pass laws that if you take your child and you transition your child without both parents there, you're gonna get sued and locked up. This is why the Supreme Court should have never allowed gay marriage. This took it further than what it was. They always wanted to go further. Yeah. They will never accept they can't do something. Here's the thing. People always say, you know, people are moving forward. Well, it's time for conservatives to start pushing back. It's time for conservatives to push you back, because this stuff that is going on is harmful to our children. There is no way we can survive as a nation with our men, who are the strongest, are acting more feminine, and our women, who are weaker, are acting more masculine. That's one thing about a really, really, really good action flick. People start seeing some of these women at 105 pounds. They, you know, she throw the kick and knock the guy out, but it's always that boss that she kick and it don't affect him. That's the actual thing. You got a lot of these women 105 pounds trying to do taekwondo against these dudes, and they kick them and they don't even stop. You have to go for pressure points, and your probability of hitting those are very slim to none. Thank you, David. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Victoria, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, this is Pinky. How you doing?
All right, I'm doing great. What's on your mind?
Well, there's a lot. You said a lot tonight. I think all this started way back in the day when that kid divorced his parents down in Florida and they let him get divorced. But people need to know, when your kid divorces you, you're still liable for whatever they do by law. But my thing is, I was a single parent. Most of my life raised 3 boys and a girl. And I had to go up against the welfare department a lot, because people say, oh, she spanked him, she did this. Well, I was disciplining my children, Jamal. I put them in church and all this other good stuff. And unfortunately, they didn't turn out right. They're thick-headed. They didn't listen, but they're learning now the hard way. But my thing is, to all these parents, when the welfare come to my house, accused me of doing stuff I wasn't doing, I said, you know what? I said, if my child gets hurt because I wasn't watching it and it did something to get hurt, you know, jumping off the roof and breaking his arm or whatever, you would hold me responsible. So, whatever my child does is up to me, not you. And I told the state to take a hike when they told me I couldn't spank my boys for fist fighting all the time. The woman said, well, my suggestion is for you to wrap your arms and legs around your child to keep it from having a fit. I said, yeah, then what am I going to do with those 2 over there killing each other? I said, I'm going to spank them.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Ms. Victoria.
Go ahead.
Wouldn't things have been a lot easier if that dad was in that home laying low down?
Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing I want to hit on, Jamal. My lawyer told me that I wanted to take my ex back to court because he wouldn't do visitation and spend time with his kids. He wouldn't do it, even though I said, well, isn't that contempt? Because that's in the divorce thing. He's not being the parent. And until this day, he slid on that, and that's why his boy's in prison right now. because his boy wouldn't listen to me and his dad disrespected me because he didn't want a divorce, okay? But having said that, my point is, if that would have been me in front of the school board and they would have told me that, I said, okay, fine. The next morning, I'd have been on the phone with the welfare department asking them where the heck are you people while my child is being abused. I hold the welfare people highly responsible because have you heard anything from these people? No. They've been crickets for the last couple of years, and it really torques me off.
Well, I'll be honest, because the guy used to be on YouTube before he passed. His name was Kevin Samuels. And one of the things Kevin Samuels said was a lot of women initiate divorce. No woman should stay there if a man knocking her upside the head playing boxing. But when the family is broken up, that is something that's happening. I'm willing to bet you your two kids, your two sons, they were fighting like that because the person who they wanted to fight was dad for not fighting more to stay. 100%. And it hurts, and it hurts. Even though you filed for it, he should have fought more and said no, we're not, and did fight to keep. You know, a lot of people say, well, you can't force nobody to stay. When you have children, it becomes less about you and more about them. And at the time, especially in the 60s, in the 70s and 80s, everybody was saying, oh, go on with your life and blah, blah, blah. Well, when those kids were eventually raised, they start saying, oh, the breakdown of the family, because statistically, women initiate divorce more. I think they said 67% of divorces are initiated by women. And it throws things in chaos, because Oprah Winfrey and these other females and these other talk show hosts start presenting, happiness. I'm gonna tell you something. Happiness is a fairy tale. Yes, you can have it, but at the end of the day, people took their eyes off children. Because what we're dealing with now is a society that children have not experienced the fear of their dad. Mama can hit, mama can whoop. Yes, that is true. But I'm going to tell you something. A woman can't hit like a man.
And it's the voice too, Jamal. A man's voice is totally different.
Yes.
And I have one more quick thing to say about gayness, because one of my sons turned out to be gay, and you brought up about the suicide. Well, I've been, I don't agree with this. I sent my son to church, and we're still having talks, and he's in his 30s now, right? And that's the one thing I'm worried about with him right now. He's in with mental health, okay? He's in there permanently. He's got problems, but he's a good person. And I'm so worried, because he's a big teddy bear, that one day he's going to realize that he's doing wrong. And I try to let him know. We've had a talk a couple of nights ago about that, actually. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, if you come to realize one day that what I'm telling you is right from the Bible, Miles, I said, please, don't hurt yourself. I said, God will forgive you. You've got to ask him for forgiveness. And that's what I worry about, suicide. I really do.
Well, here's the thing. As long as you're telling your child, I disagree with you, but I love you. I love you. Yeah. I love you. Come to mama. I will hold you in my arms. I will comfort you. I am your mother. I love you. I don't agree with you in that behavior, but I love you. That's what stops it. Yes, and then you have to hold on to it's wrong. I cannot go along with it, but I love you. You are my child. I love you. And hold him. I don't care if he's 41. I don't care if he's 21. I don't care if he's 30. There is nothing like the arms of your mother. There is no feeling like the arms of your mother. And the arms of your mother, the love of your mother, you can be in prison, one of the hardest people on the yard. But there's nothing that breaks the biggest men down like their mother. Because it is wired in us, especially as boys, that mama, other than your wife and your daughters, there is nobody else. If you ain't got a wife, you ain't got a daughters, mama and grandmama. But mama.
Well, I appreciate that, Jamal, because I grew up without a dad, and I've had to look at many men through my life, and there's a lot of them that I respect. I just want you to know you're one of them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I thank you, and I'm gonna tell you something. More churches, because here's a scripture what people don't know. I believe it's in the book of Ecclesiasticus. The book of Ecclesiasticus tell the men in the church to take care of the widows and the fatherless children, but don't try to sleep with the woman who is in that situation. In other words, it is a man, if you're in the church, you're supposed to help the women in the church like that. But you ain't supposed to be trying to mess with them and sleep with them. And so many men, now I'm not going to make the church look like they perfect. Yes, there are some predators in the church. Yes, there are. There are some users and predators in the church. But there are some good men in the church that need to, if they see sister such and such is struggling with her kids, need to say, hey, I help you out, but I'm going to tell you right now, if they disrespect me, I'm going to tell you how I pull it up. And for those men who don't want nobody putting their hands on their child, then that's when you as a mother say, then you need to come do something with your children. Because if you don't, I'm going to get, because at one time, pastors was whooping kids. If the dad was gone, they'll call pastor, deacon come over there, lay and whoop your little hind boy. All right, have a good one, and go right back home. But you have a blessed, wonderful night.
Well, you reminded me when you said that about the neighborhood. I remember those days, and that's what we need to get back to, because I agree with you 100%. It's not the village, it's the family.
Yes, it's the family, because somebody wrote, you have the village idiot, and you don't want the village idiot nowhere near your children. Thank you, Miss Victoria. You have a blessed, wonderful night.
You too, Jamal. Thank you.
All right, hold on, Jose Marquez. Hold on, Jose. Hold on. I want to thank Miss Jill Miller. Miss Jill Miller, I want to thank you for the beautiful blessing you bestowed upon the page. Miss Jill Miller, thank you for your kindness and your generosity. Thank you, Miss Jill. All right, what's going on, Jose? What's going through Cash App? Thank you, Miss Jill. What's going on, Jose?
Just living another crazy day in communist California, but that's another story.
I want to know what's going on with that, because you do know that they're trying to leave. Was it Ohio? Oregon's leaving to Idaho, and I do believe Eastern California is trying to leave too. They're trying to put it back on the ballot to leave.
Okay, there's parts of Oregon that's trying to annex with Idaho. The problem is Salem, their capital, is trying to stop that because that's all their agriculture. Now, with here in California, because I actually know a lady who's part of that group called New California State, they're trying to get, like, where I live, San Diego County, along with the rest of California, except most of L.A., some of the coastal, of course, the Bay, San Francisco and Sacramento, and the rest be its own state. Now, the problem, though, is they don't want to lose that agriculture.
Yep.
And that's why they're trying to make it difficult, because they lose the agriculture, they lose all that money.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize that California, I think, is possibly, maybe, if not the biggest agriculture state in the whole country, at least in the top 5.
I know California makes the most grapes and wine. I know that for a fact. California is the biggest producer of grapes and wine.
That for sure. I know potatoes is more Idaho, but I mean, there's some fields, because I've been through a lot of the Central Coast part of California, and I've seen a lot of fields, not just with wine, but I mean, going eastbound before I get to Arizona, the next county, which is Imperial, there's definitely a lot of agriculture as far as tomatoes and some of the other, vegetables. So, I mean, we have quite a bit of that throughout California as well. And that's something I know that they don't want to lose. But,
you know what? People in that state, people in those states need to start being more forceful with it. Start telling representatives they're not even going to vote until they're not even going to vote people in. They're going to create their own state and just do it. See, you people are scared to do old-fashioned rebellion. Not going to do it. Those people in Oregon refuse to participate. See, they're not paying their taxes. They're going to send it. If those people in Oregon was to send their taxes to Idaho, that right there will be a big problem. And they will have to address it. Yeah. Because, see, one, these states done went to jungle primaries. That's one problem. Oh, yeah. Number two, that they don't have control of the elections. They took it away from these small rural counties.
Yeah, and that's what has hurt California and Oregon.
Yes.
And speaking about, fighting back, because I know what we talked about last Friday. What was it? Oh, yeah, it was about, do they have to suffer the same fate like what happened with the French Revolution? But what I wanted to ask, though, too, is because I've read a lot about it, but I remember first hearing about it back when I was in middle school. Besides starving what they called the peasants, what was all the stuff that Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette did that finally pushed them to where they revolted, and even the guards couldn't hold on to them no more, to where they had to flee? And then eventually they got captured.
Unfair, the people starving, that was it. But unfair justice, people being snatched off the street, people being locked up indefinite without their without someone to defend them. People, of course, people starve and not have enough food, land. That forced people to rebel, and we all know they got the guillotine. But those were the part of the things that were. It was dealing with food. It was dealing with also when it came to justice, because the judiciary system wasn't fair. Yes, those are the things. Those are the main things. And when people starve, they want new leadership.
Yeah, I mean, and what was it? When she said, because I know they dispute it, but when she said the phrase of "we'll let them eat cake," did that actually mean crumbs or actually cake with that term?
Well, here's the thing. I think when she said "let them eat cake," she was talking about, she was making slight of it. Now, I've also heard she never said that.
Yeah, it's been disputed.
Yeah. She never said that. That was one of those things that she said to get the people angry. But there's rumors she didn't say let them eat cake. She never said anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read is after they got taken down, they still had a monarchy, but if you look at, like, Macron today, he's kind of ruined a little bit, like he swears he's a king. And so I'm going to say exactly Francis.
Well, here go the thing about what's going on in Canada. That's just downright tyranny. That's just downright tyranny. Simple and plain. That's just downright tyranny what's going on in there. Locking people up, taking their money. That's just tyranny. And that's what they are. There is tyranny, and the people know that's what's going on up there isn't right. Yeah. They locked those people up. Same thing they did with January 6th. So when it comes to the Canada, yeah, we can make jokes about them and stuff, but it's actually horrific what's going on to the people in Canada and what happened to those freedom truckers. You know, everybody do all this big talk about how Vladimir Putin is this and Vladimir Putin is that, and America is no different, and Canada is acting no different. We are different, but they're not acting any different. Thank you for calling in, Jose.
No problem, man. All right.
There you go. Now let's go back to the Wellathon.
Because she sees increased violence and kids, especially kids of color, failed by schools and resource issues. A mom, including of one child with disabilities, she thinks this bill is a dangerous distraction.
It's devastating to our communities.
Where her neck? Where her neck at? Somebody tell me where her neck. Somebody tell me where her neck at. Anybody won't tell me where her neck at? That woman look like right now, you know she ain't marched nowhere. You know she ain't marching nowhere. She look like she swear. She look like you can smell the bacon grease frying off her neck. You can tell she done had her hand in a big old thing of grease for some. You can tell this woman smell like fried bacon. Y'all going to bed?
I'm not, but I just don't want to fall asleep and forget to tell you good night.
Okay, well come get Daddy a hug. Got this woman so fat up here. Look, shit, you see her neck right there? That's why we exercise. And tomorrow we're gonna go outside and play a little bit. But look at that, her neck. I mean, look at that woman neck. She got more chins than Chinatown. You got people in China, mo chin, them chin, loud chin, high chin. She just chinny. You know, little pig, let me in, not by the hair of my chinny chin. She got chins for chins and chins. Come here, Daddy love you. I love you. Your sister not fell asleep?
No, sir. She's still up.
Okay. Go in there. Y'all got the music out?
No, sir. The Maya's still watching TV. I was going to lay in my bed.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you good night, so if I get a little sleepy, I won't forget to tell you good night.
All right, Daddy, love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
That our kids can't read, but yet and still we want to debate what books are going to be taken out of the curriculum. If the kids can't read, why does it even matter anyway? So let's quit playing with us. Let's start focusing on the real meat and potatoes, and that's about students.
Look at that. Let's focus on the real meat and potatoes. She ain't have to mention no meat and potatoes. She ain't have to meet no meat and potatoes. talking about some meat and potatoes. You need to get some salad, some lettuce and tomatoes.
And family success.
But others disagree, like the mom who sponsored this bill, Representative Julia Letlow, and parents who joined her and Speaker McCarthy at an event last month.
Yes.
Hi. My name is Stacy Woomsley. I'm a resident of Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Woomsley is a mom who ran and won a seat on her local school board after her own experience left her feeling shut out by school officials.
To have my advocacy for my children characterized as some political ploy was really, it was really hurtful.
Woomsley says the Republican bill is also mischaracterized and is not about banning anything.
It doesn't say this book is good, this book is bad. You can say this word, you can't say that word. What it says, what it affirms, is that parents have a right to know what is being taught.
At the Capitol, though,
general debate shall be confined to the bill.
Most controversial has been a part of the bill requiring that teachers notify parents if students are being treated as transgender. Republicans say that addresses parent fears of being in the dark.
Our bill enshrines common sense transparency for parents of children to reflect these concerns.
But Democrats say that is dangerous for kids.
This is about MAGA Republicans who want to start a fake culture war targeting some of the most vulnerable kids in America in our kids' classrooms. Shame on you.
All of this comes with its own civics lesson about parents with the same ardent motivation, but in completely separate conversations.
This could be a unique opportunity to bring us together, but it could just keep pushing us apart because we are not listening. We hear each other talking, but we're not listening.
House Republicans celebrated the bill's passage today, but it is not expected to move in the Senate. To talk about what this means for families and in politics is Jennifer Berkshire. She's a journalist who co-hosts the education podcast Have You Heard and is co-author of A Wolf at the Schoolhouse Door about the future of public education. Jen, let's start by let's just take the politicians out for a second. What do we know about where Americans are on this issue of parents and schools?
Well, one thing we know is that the polls have been remarkably consistent over the past couple of years, that parents and Americans across the board, and I am talking about both political parties, which as you know is so unusual right now, opposition to anything having to do with book bans and limits on what teachers can teach and kids can learn is broad and deep. And I think people might be really surprised to hear that because you probably think that these laws that keep popping up are, they must be in response to popular demand. And
now, anybody want to guess she's a liberal? Now, what poll tells her people are opposed to banning certain books in school? What poll is she reading? Because Florida just passed it. All these states where Republicans are being elected, this is what they were elected to do. So I want to know where this lily lolly liberal get this craziness from. I want to know where did this lily lolly liberal get this craziness from. But remember, she's not after your kids. She's not after your children. They just want your children not to get hurt. Really? Isn't that a parent's job? To ensure the safety for their children and the mental and well-being. What's going on, Keon? What's going on?
How you doing on this, I will say, lovely night?
Oh, yes, it is. It's about 80.
Jesus.
It's 71 degrees here in North Carolina. It's 71 degrees tonight.
Yeah, it's beautiful here in Charleston, South Carolina. But I have to say, I would have had that song on my mind, like, by Pink Floyd, the band. It's like, leave them teachers, leave them kids alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't need no education.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
Teacher,
right there. Hey,
leave them kids alone. But see, here's the thing, though. But here's what's funny. At the time, Pink Floyd was talking about teachers teaching morality, teachers teaching church. See, at the time when that song coming out, they would had a problem with people teaching church, people teaching morality, people teaching right from wrong. So that's what they were singing to. But now, because the progressives and the liberals done took over, what Pink Floyd sung about, no, they want to be able to do something.
Exactly. And Jamal, that the video that you had shown with the two that the black might be the black parent and with the black two kids doing that to the white girl, that got it had my blood boiling. And I said to myself, like, where the heck is the parents? Because if I would have saw that, I would have grab that little girl, going to the parent house, and say, "Do you see what they doing to your daughter?" And then, because the parent needed but I'm not doing it, but the parent needed butt tear.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Because you should have been out there watching your kids. You know, I fault the parents for that. You know, it's crazy. You know, and I would listen to North Carolina radio station on my phone, and y'all governor
is a nut.
He's speaking to the kids from the students, students or whatever about education. Explain to me what he's doing.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is hurtful for me. He's liberal. He's a liberal. He's crazy. He wants to indoctrinate children. He wants to trans stuff. The Republicans here in North Carolina, in the House and Senate, aren't doing anything. They should have impeached him back in 2020 when he was doing overreach and was not following the Council of States. I blame a lot of stuff here in North Carolina on these weak, spineless, feckless Republicans here. I got to admit it. We just passed freaking Medicaid expansion. Nobody from the Republican base want that. But Phil Berger and Moore, they passed it. Why? Because they felt for some reason we needed it. Take the issue from liberals. Now, we here in North Carolina want constitutional carry. You think the liberals are going to, if they got in power, will pass constitutional carry to take the argument from conservatives? No. So that's my thing. That's how I just feel the Republican Party spend too much time trying to prove they ain't racist instead of getting the job done.
And that's the way it is, because I tell you one thing, I'm going to find out what our meeting is, the Republican meeting is, and I'm going through it, and I'm going to voice my opinion, and right here, you know, in the Charleston County area, and because they need to get a backbone. I'm sorry. They need to go back and read King David and you know, what he did, because he had a backbone, you know, so that's my thing. So, but I'm going to go back and watch the show. You have a good night.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Let me get this caller here, and I'm about to go back to the video. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Caller, you're on the air.
Robert. Hey, Jamal, are you still covering parts of Durham on your broadcast?
You know what, Robert? Since my house caught on fire, and I'll be honest with you, Robert. Since my house caught on fire, we were staying in an extended stay motel, and I really couldn't get the signal to do it right. But now that I'm in a area, I should be able to start doing more, which I am doing more. I am starting to do a little bit more when it comes to writing on the Republican Durham County GOP page. But I'm going to start shooting videos again for Durham County GOP. Yes, I am. I'm going to start back doing that like I need to do. Because things here in Durham have gotten bad. You got a woman that's a city council woman. She been caught up in embezzlement. They caught her up in it. She tried to embezzle money out of a developer that told her, you got to donate to my cane in order to get a permit. Then you had it's not even 90 days here in Durham. It's not even 90 days. And you've had 17 children shot, 3 murdered that they reported because they're not reporting them all.
So you didn't see the Durham council meeting from yesterday, did you?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The woman who was caught up in the thing. They were cussing and fussing. Okay. She was fussing with Mayor Pro Tem Mark Middleton. Maurice Middleton. Oh, yeah. But he is shady and crooked as they come too.
I think the mayor in the whole entire council saw dirty as can be. I think what it is, they're upset because what it is, she just exposed their plans and basically have all the Benjamins flowing into their bank account.
See, my thing is this, and it's hurtful to say, but the people in Durham don't want change. They want to keep these people because the people in Durham are worried they drug dealing son, they tricking daughter, or they gang banging grandchild's gonna get locked up like they supposed to. So they hire these corrupt people like that lazy, no good, incompetent Santana Doomberry. There is no way that woman should be a district attorney. She openly flaunts not following up. People think about New York and how New York DAs and the no cash bond. We actually got that here in Durham.
I seen where the O'Neill used the policy from Chicago. It's that I think it's the where they get the criminals to try to stop the gun shooting. Where basically I call it you're taking the criminals out of the soon as they get out of prison and getting them back out there on the sidewalk stealing and other stuff. I have not seen that whatsoever reduce any gun shooting.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, and Ben, because we can talk. Here in Durham, they had the shot spotter. You remember that? They got the shot spotter technology. Here is what's so
3 mile area.
Yeah, within a 3 mile area, and I talked about this, they had over 995 shots within a 3 mile area within 60 days. Yes, something is mighty wrong here in Durham.
I think people need more to travel through Durham. You need a bulletproof vest and a AR-15 just to keep your rear end alive, just to drive on through some places here.
Sure, you come to Durham, you need to do your best to avoid it. I honestly, like tonight, me and my daughters went out to McDonald's to eat. I was in and I was out. I wanted to go to different restaurants, but they shoot so bad. You just had up in Henderson, North Carolina, I don't know if you heard about this a few months ago, they were shooting out there like this was a actual war zone in Iraq or Afghanistan. These boys breaking out AR-15s and all this type of stuff, and it's wrong. Well, what you trying to say? When black folk got guns, you conservatives don't like it. It has nothing to do with someone black having a gun. What it has to do with thugs and hoodlums sitting out here having shootouts and almost hurting people.
And then you have anti-gun people like Cooper there, who's already vetoed still already one bill, even I think today, who just wants to take away our guns too.
Roy Cooper.
Take away everybody's gun.
See, here's the thing about Roy Cooper, and thank you for the call. Thank you for calling in, caller.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Roy Cooper, a lot of people don't know. Roy Cooper do all this big liberal thing. Roy Cooper family got his fortune from slavery. His family, the Cooper family, was one of the biggest slave owners in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. He's from Nash County. Nash, Edgecombe County. That's where he's from. Roy Cooper's family is one of the biggest slave owners. The Cooper family, one of the biggest slave owners it was. But he up here doing all this. We need to reparations and all this crap. Roy Cooper family gonna have to pay it out because he one of the biggest slave owners it was. But let's listen to this crazy woman here.
That actually is not the case.
I want to take apart sort of the two sides of this. And first, I want to check in with the parents driving this idea. Is there knowledge that you have? What do we know about the idea that parents in this country are getting blocked out? What is happening there with school systems?
So first of all, I think it's really important to acknowledge just how awful the pandemic was for everyone, but for parents in particular. And so I think it would be a big mistake for us to just write off this movement as astroturf or, you know, the product just of politicians who want to stir the pot in order to reap political gold.
No. Parents saw what you were doing. No, parents saw what you was doing and what you was talking about. That's where this comes from. In 2020, parents were paying attention because their kids was there learning, and they start seeing anti-white curriculums. They were actually noticing, wow, you're teaching my child that? You're teaching my child that? That has nothing to do with math. What does this mean, slavery? This is a math class. Why are you talking about slavery in a math class? Why are you talking about white supremacy in science? And that's what blew it up. But what actually happened was when that man's daughter got raped in Luxon County up in Virginia by a transgender, and they covered it up and they couldn't cover it no more. That's where a lot of this stuff come from. But once again, liberals dismiss our complaints. They dismiss our complaints. But Kevin McCarthy, I got to be honest, Kevin McCarthy is doing what he promised.
It wasn't that long ago that many Republicans wanted to abolish the Department of Education, wanted to get Washington out of education. What do you say to those who say this is infusing Washington into local education?
No, it's not. It's infusing parents into education. This has nothing about Washington. This says the parent can now know what's being taught in the school. This is now saying the parents can now look at the reading material. It's now saying the parents can now see what the money is being spent on a school board. It's now saying that the parents can protect their kids' privacy, so if they're selling the data. It now says the parents can have a notification if there's any violent activity on campus. This is not about Washington. This is empowering the parents. This is the Parents' Bill of Rights. It's knocking down currently with this Biden administration that wants Washington to control all, that wants a DOJ to go after parents when they go to school board meetings. No, this is opening up the schools to the parents.
But Congress passed
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just two questions on this bill. One, what do you say to critics who say that it could open the door to bullying and unfair treatment of children who are different or who, with trans children? And secondly, what do you say to some of the incidents at some of the school board meetings that have been, really raising the temperature in a way that could be perceived as, really violent and really frightening for people who work on school boards who are...
It was very violent in Loudoun County when a father went there after already warning that his daughter was molested in a girl's bathroom with a boy wearing a skirt that day. That a violent activity already happened on that campus, but they weren't notified. And when we went back to the school board to wonder what had transpired since that time, He was violently arrested. We now have had an investigation, and finally they got rid of that superintendent and principal that violently did that to a parent. For those who are concerned about bullying, they should celebrate this bill, because now you'll know if there's any violent activity on your campus. Not that it just happened to your child, to anyone, so you're warned ahead of time. This is why this is so much stronger for a parent's Bill of Rights to know what's happening in their kids' education.
See, everybody wants to talk about trans kids, all the trans kids. This is why we need a parent's Bill of Rights. So if a child is expressing these mental issues, that they believe they're trapped in the wrong body, that a parent can get that child help. That parent needs to get that child help. Your child saying, "Mommy, I'm put in the wrong body." Where you get that from? How do you know that's the wrong body? Who told you that? But that's true. But everybody, that is YouTube and Facebook. Know what? Yes, YouTube, Facebook. It is time to go over to Rumble. It is time to go over to Jamal. You forgot about Rumble. No, I didn't forget about Rumble. I just been going back and forth. If somebody sent me a super chat, let me go check. No, please. Okay, I didn't. My bad. I was talking about it, going back and forth. I try to watch Rumble. I do. I am trying to break myself away from focusing on YouTube, Facebook more than Rumble. I will get better at it. I promise you that. But we about to do that now because we about to leave Facebook and YouTube. Everyone, if you on Facebook or YouTube, Facebook or YouTube, good night. And no, Eddie, I'm not doing the emails tonight because it's Friday. You can call in. On Fridays, call in. We're not going to do the emails. Just on Fridays because people can call in. So for everybody like, well, Jamal, what about the emails? Those are strictly Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what those are for, because you can call in. You can call in and stuff. But Facebook, YouTube, see y'all in a few.